Oh yeah, watch.
Suggesting that Simon Ekpa may be found not guilty. Widespread celebration erupted in Finland after an experienced Finnish judge named Ali Vatin gave a public legal analysis of Simon Ekpa's case, suggesting that Simon Ekpa may be found not guilty in the ongoing trial. Judge Ali Vatin explained the Finnish district court system, emphasizing that cases are presided over by 3 judges who deliberate collectively and vote to reach a verdict, which is unlike the Nigerian system where one judge gives the ruling. If Simon Ekpa is found guilty, the consequences may include imprisonment, fines, community service, or probation, but not necessarily the 6 years demanded by the prosecution. Also, Simon Ekpa has the right to appeal any verdict in a higher court. The judge stated that the trial could last up to 4 months, potentially stretching into late summer, August-September 2025, due to the complexity and volume of evidence involved. Simon Ekpa faces 3 charges. 1. Public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent. 2. Terrorism financing and illegal money collection. And 3. Spreading terrorist propaganda, with all evidence dated from August 2021 to November 2024. Over 1,183 days of Simon Ekpa's digital communications, including videos, tweets, and WhatsApp messages, have been collected by the prosecution and will be presented in court as evidence. Simon Ekpa's background as a Finnish politician, having served as a local government councillor for the National Coalition Party, was seen as both an advantage and a disadvantage in the court process. Advantages of Simon Ekpa's political career include public status, legal and political knowledge, support from followers and media, and the ability to claim political persecution rather than criminal behavior. Disadvantages include higher public expectations, greater scrutiny, inability to plead ignorance of laws, and being seen as a dangerous influencer due to his wide reach and influence. In summary, Judge Ali Vatin concluded that Simon Ekpa has more legal advantages than disadvantages in this case, making it likely that the verdict will favor him, hence the early jubilation among his supporters in Finland. Simon Ekpa is being tried at the Pyramid District Court in Finland for his social media posts and online activities made between August 23, 2021 and November 18, 2024. He made over 2,068 posts during this period, but the judge highlighted that none of those posts incited actions within Finnish territory. The Finnish judge stated that Simon Ekpa has not committed any crime in Finland, apart from a tax-related issue. His record with Finnish authorities is otherwise clean, which heavily favors him in court. The judge emphasized that Nigerian media reports are not reliable in Finnish courts, stating that anything coming from Nigerian outlets such as Vanguard newspaper, Arise television,
Free money.
Television, Channels Television and others cannot be taken as credible evidence in court proceedings. The prosecuting lawyer admitted that Nigerian media cannot be trusted, which weakened the charges based on information from Nigerian sources. This shift means the prosecution must depend solely on independently verified Finnish or international evidence. All evidence used in court must be verified, meaning that if Nigeria claims there were violent outcomes from Simon Ekpa's broadcasts, they must present first-hand, verifiable documentation, not just news articles from Nigeria. The Finnish court will base its judgment only on Simon Ekpa's own posts, live streams, and data like IP logs, and not on alleged consequences reported in Nigeria. Finnish legal standards require strong evidence, not speculation or politically influenced reports. Simon Ekpa has a 90% chance of acquittal, according to the judge, because there is no direct link between his actions and violence in Finland, and the court will not rely on potentially false reports from Nigerian media. The only serious charge Simon Ekpa faces is aggravated tax fraud, to which he has already pleaded guilty. He admitted to evading taxes amounting to $30,000, which could lead to up to 7 years in prison under Finnish law. Aggravated tax fraud is a significant offense in Finland, as shown by past cases involving real estate executives who were sentenced to prison for similar offenses. This remains the only major legal hurdle for Simon Ekpa in the ongoing case. Simon Ekpa's trial will continue on Tuesday, June 17, 2025, where detailed evidence will be presented, documents will be examined, and further cross-examinations will take place. The outcome could hinge on how well Simon Ekpa and his legal team handle the tax fraud charge. The streets of Finland, especially in areas where Nigerian communities live and where supporters of the Biafran independence movement reside, have recently witnessed a wave of celebration, excitement, and emotional relief. This sudden burst of jubilation came shortly after a landmark development in the highly publicized court case of a Nigerian-born Finnish politician and separatist spokesperson named Simon Njoku Ekpa. A respected Finnish judge named Ali Vatin, who has years of experience in Finland's legal system, made a very important public legal commentary that appears to change the tide of the entire trial. His words carried a sense of weight, clarity, and authority that echoed across not just Finland, but also across many African communities watching the case closely. Judge Ali Vatin did not issue a formal verdict, but his breakdown of the legal situation, the structure of the Finnish district court, and the specific charges facing Simon Njoku Ekpa gave a glimpse into what many are now interpreting as a strong possibility of acquittal. As soon as this legal analysis was made public, celebrations began erupting among Simon Njoku Ekpa's supporters, not just because of the words themselves, but because they came from a man who understands the inner workings of Finland's legal system, and who carefully explained why Simon Njoku Ekpa is likely not guilty under Finnish law. Simon Njoku Ekpa is not just any man. He is a former local government councillor in Finland, a legal practitioner, and a widely known advocate for the indigenous people of Biafra, a pro-Biafran group pushing for the independence of southeastern Nigeria. He is a controversial figure, especially in Nigeria, where he is often portrayed in the media as a separatist agitator who uses his social media platforms to incite rebellion, violence, and division. But in Finland, where the legal system is more structured around evidence, process, and human rights, his case is being viewed through a different lens. Judge Ali Vatin started his analysis by explaining how the Finnish court system works. In Finland, criminal cases like the one Simon Njoku Ekpa is facing are not decided by a single judge as they are in Nigeria. Instead, 3 judges preside over the matter. These judges work together to analyze all pieces of evidence and then vote to reach a verdict. This system, Judge Ali Vatin noted, allows for a more balanced outcome because no one person has the final say. It removes the possibility of bias from a single judge and encourages a collective decision based on verified evidence and legal interpretation. Simon Njoku Ekpa is facing 3 main charges. The first is public incitement to commit crimes with terrorist intent. The second charge is financing terrorism and engaging in unauthorized fundraising. The third charge is related to spreading terrorist propaganda. All these charges are tied to his digital activities, particularly on platforms like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and WhatsApp. The charges are based on a range of content he allegedly shared from August 2021 to November 2024. According to the Finnish prosecution, they have gathered more than 1,183 days worth of digital content that includes Simon Njoku Ekpa's voice, video live streams, tweets, and private messages. Over 2,368 pieces of online posts have been collected and will be presented as evidence. These materials are being carefully reviewed to determine whether they meet the threshold of criminal activity under Finnish law. However, Judge Ali Vatin pointed out a critical issue that will likely work in Simon Njoku Ekpa's favor. He noted that none of these posts appear to have incited any crime within Finland itself. This is a major distinction because Finland, like many other countries in Europe, does not convict someone for inciting or influencing violence in another country unless there is a direct and legally proven connection between the accused's actions and the specific crimes that followed. In other words, unless the prosecution can directly tie Simon Njoku Ekpa's statements to acts of violence or terrorism and verify those connections with reliable, internationally recognized evidence, then the charges cannot be sustained under Finnish law. Another strong point made by Judge Ali Vatin was that Finnish courts do not recognize or rely on media reports from Nigerian outlets such as Vanguard newspaper, Arise television, Channels television, or others. He explained that the Finnish judiciary considers those sources unreliable for courtroom proceedings. The judge said that in order to make a legal argument, the prosecution must bring verified evidence, such as police reports, eyewitness testimonies, hospital records, or direct evidence from the location of the alleged crime. Simply quoting a news article or showing footage from Nigerian television will not be enough. This is a major blow to the prosecution because a significant part of their case was based on claims and reports that originated from the Nigerian media space. Interestingly, even the Finnish prosecuting attorney handling the case has acknowledged this limitation. The prosecutor reportedly admitted that Nigerian media sources are not considered credible in the Finnish court system. This admission weakens the case significantly and strengthens the argument made by Simon Njoku Ekpa's defense team. They are now focusing entirely on what Simon Njoku Ekpa said, did, or promoted within Finnish territory, or what impact his actions had on people living in Finland. Judge Ali Vatin was very clear in explaining that Finnish law requires actual evidence of harm within Finnish borders, or direct facilitation of crimes from Finnish soil. If a person posts a video on YouTube from Finland, the content itself must be shown to have directly caused a crime or contributed to it, for it to be classified as criminal. Mere expression of controversial political opinions, even if they are considered inflammatory in other countries, does not automatically qualify as terrorism or incitement in Finland. It is within this context that the judge suggested that Simon Njoku Ekpa has a 90% chance of being acquitted.
You don't see them? And they have had. Yes.